The Federal Reserve's finding that 31% of Americans lack $500 in emergency savings is not merely a number, it's a threshold of desperation. The United States, believed to be the land of opportunity, is facing a paradox. While its stock markets soar, its corporations break profit records, and its billionaires launch rockets into space, nearly a third of its citizens cannot scrape together $500 in an emergency. This isn't just a financial statistic, it's a damning indictment of a system that has conflated GDP growth with genuine prosperity. The reality is that America, for all its wealth, is failing its people. The erosion of financial security, the predatory nature of consumer debt, and the systemic neglect of social safety nets have created a nation where economic survival is a daily tightrope walk for millions.
In 2024, the personal savings rate in the US stood at less than 5%, a fraction of that in Germany, Japan, or China. This is a nation running on fumes and credit. Consumption fuels 70% of the GDP. The average citizen is saddled with $140,000 in debt, and over 80% of the population relies on credit cards. This creates a bizarre paradox of paper wealth. While total U.S. household assets technically hit a staggering $181 trillion, or a net asset of $47,300 per capita, that number is a mirage. 40% of families can't cover a sudden $400 expense because the wealth is concentrated at the top. The richest 10% hold 70% of the nation's assets, while the entire bottom half of the population owns a mere 1%. For most Americans, their net worth is locked away in volatile stocks or inaccessible retirement funds, and assets such as savings account for a mere 5%, leaving them functionally broke.
The Federal Reserve's finding that 31% of Americans lack $500 in emergency savings is not merely a number, it's a threshold of desperation. For these individuals, a flat tire, a minor medical issue, or an unexpected utility bill can trigger a cascade of financial ruin. This vulnerability is not accidental. It is the result of decades of policy choices that have prioritized corporate profits over human stability. Meanwhile, wages have stagnated for the majority of workers, while the cost of living has exploded. Adjusted for inflation, the federal minimum wage today is worth less than it was in 1968. The result? Millions of Americans are trapped in a cycle of survival spending, where every dollar earned is immediately spent on necessities, leaving nothing for savings, investment, or upward mobility.
By the end of Q1 2025, this cycle pushed U.S. household debt to a historic $18.2 trillion. The national credit card delinquency rate shot up to nearly 9%, compounding the financial fragility of households. While mortgages make up 70% of that debt, it's the high-interest credit cards and predatory installment loans that are breaking the backs of low-income families. Among households earning less than $50,000 a year, only 1 in 4 manages to save anything at all. This reality, fueled by a culture of hyper-consumerism and the inescapable burdens of student and medical debt, has been supercharged by the Federal Reserve's interest rate hikes. And even though rate cuts began in late 2024, credit card APRs remain near all-time highs, squeezing American families relentlessly.
The $500 emergency fund crisis is not an accident. It is the inevitable outcome of an economy that values capital over lives. A nation's greatness is not measured by its stock indices or billionaire count, but it should be by how it treats its most vulnerable people. Right now, America is failing that test, and miserably so.